So good morning. Good morning. Welcome. This is the Wednesday live stream. And if you are here in the chat, please tell me that you can hear and see me and all the things so that I don't worry about the technology. I've gone away from using my good mic because it has failed me recently and I'm just using the webcam mic. So please let me know how it sounds. But while I wait for that approval, I will say hi to the folks in the chat. It's always lovely to see everybody. I see Margaret and Keith and Jay-Z getting in there with the I can hear you and see you and all the things, which is great. I have to tell you that I have been missing I've been missing Alex streaming the last week. Honestly, I didn't realize how often I'd actually put on his old like the stream that I missed because I can never get there live and like work while I'm listening to Alex. So Alex, if you're watching this, could you hurry up and move to Spain and then get your office set up again so that we can get back to normal? Please. I'm just saying. Check in the chat. I see Margaret and Keith. What's going on, friends? And I hear something about a storm. Clearly, I have no idea what's happening, but it's storming somewhere in the UK, apparently, and its name is Bara. There's a storm happening, or maybe it's a woman. I don't know. There's Adrian and Lady D and Syed. What is going on, folks? Thanks for dropping in. So anyway, it's Wednesday, and last week we had Carl on the show, and I had a lot of fun. And I have to tell you that sometimes when I have a guest, I miss a lot of what's going on in the chat. I look back at it and I realized that I had missed so many messages last week, which is a great problem to have, right? You have so many people there that you can't keep up. But sorry, I felt a little selfish after the fact. It was like, oh, I just spent all my time talking to Carl and I didn't talk to anybody. I'm rambling as people are dropping in as the notifications go out. And I see Eric and Sue and Zach. What's going on, everybody? Coming over to get your live stream fixed because Alex is not serving us right now. Well, folks, it is December. Holy cow, it is December. And so what I have posted so far recently was my month 5 video for the niche site Cage Fight, which we started back in July. And I wouldn't say neglected to post about, I just didn't post about because it just didn't seem very interesting. But if you have not heard of such things, you have no idea what I'm talking about. The video is posted on the main channel. The link is in the description below. Basically, the point of the video was just to come out and admit that I too am struggling with indexing issues, but I'm here to say that I all of a sudden feel so much more motivated because I checked. I know I'm the no look November is over. I am back to looking at stats, and I noticed in the last, basically since the beginning of the month, the fight site has started to go like this. Like, yeah, Serp Robot still looks terrible, right? Like it looks awful. It's barely anything is indexed, and nothing, that I manually index, like nothing is working there. But the stuff that is indexing has all of a sudden caught some fire, some momentum. So I don't know. I'm starting to feel maybe more motivated to work on the site versus how I felt before, which was obligated. But either way, there is still such a joy to see a site start to just, it's like a little child, right? Like its little legs, like there he goes. I don't know if I've had too much coffee or not enough coffee this morning. I cannot tell. But maybe it's just like the energy off the back of looking at Google Analytics like right before jumping on the stream and then being like, I feel so excited. Checking the chat. Keith says it's a fine day for kite flying. Eric says, did I reach that 500 posts? And I have not yet. 498, and I have probably 9 articles sitting in my queue in writer access to approve and edit and upload. So it's gonna happen. It's just a question of finding time. Like the holidays have just hit me like a Mack truck, right? Like smash. Like I'm going from this live stream who normally I would go and see today. I apologize. The school, my kids' teachers are frantic because they're trying to do all their Christmas like presents with the kids, but half the parents aren't vaccinated and the other half aren't approved to be volunteers. So there's only a handful of us who can even go into the school, and I just happen to be one of them. So I'm spending a lot of time in the school just trying to help them. So that's why I won't be able to be there, friends, and I'm sorry. I promise that January will be better. It will. Just the holidays are bunkers right now. So that is the long way of saying I haven't hit 500 posts yet, but I'm confident that will happen, and I feel really good about the year. I mean, I originally had started the Miga site with the goal of getting to like 200 posts and then just doing something else, and it turned into 500. And I have not made the month 11 video yet, so I haven't announced, the traffic and the earnings and all the rest of that. But I'm like cautiously, like obsessively watching the stats for the month of December because I'm really excited to see what happens this month. Because my original goal with the Miga site was to get to $1,000 a month. And it makes like a really nice like YouTube thumbnail, like zero to $1,000 a month in so many months. But to actually see where the site gets to in December, because we made it to $1,000 a month in month 11. So where will it go in month 12? This is me teasing that video that I haven't even made yet because December is not even over. But I'm super jazzed to watch it and then to share it because I don't know. I don't know where this enthusiasm is coming from. Everybody, like I feel like I'm just riding this momentum of this year, and all of a sudden I can see it happening. Like it's happening. Anyway, it's probably too much coffee. Not enough. Keith says, I wish I had done No Look November. I'm a bit distracted this month because of the next update. Yes, I feel like that excuse doesn't fly very far though, Keith, because I feel like every other day is an update. So he's like, oh, I didn't work today because of the update. No, I didn't work today because of the update. You're like, there's an update every day. Ooh, I see that we need some thumb up smashing because my heart is whatever. I just see there's only 4 of those and there's 10 over there, and I need help. Jay-Z says this coffee looks like chocolate milk. It's because I put a lot of milk in it. I don't do any sugar at all, but I do like to put a lot of milk in my coffee. So Bloom later steps in and says too much coffee, and I wonder if that is possible. But welcome, friend. If you are in the chat and you are new to the stream and you haven't said anything yet, please feel free to say hi. And if you are new to the chat and I don't know what you're up to, I would love if you just give me a quick note, like where in the world are you from, or what are your interests? What are you interested in? Like, why are you here? And what can you receive help for, or do you have questions, or where are you in your journey? It just makes these streams so much better when we know more about folks. And really the purpose of this stream is building community and surrounding ourselves with people that are like-minded. And so if you're out there and you're here because you could use some of that, then please announce yourself and tell us more so that we can get to know you. Eric says 498 means you're 0.4% from the target. You're almost there. I know. And I was almost there the other day and then had some articles set to reach that goal, like right December 1st or 2nd. And then the articles I just got back from my writers, they were not good enough. I had to send them back. So it delayed me, but it's still going to happen. I know. I'm super jazzed about it. He says, go easy on me. And I say, never, sir. You'll never hear me or see me going easy on you because you're tough. You're super tough. So I know that you can handle it, Keith. Adrian says, how's Mediavine? This is an interesting topic, an interesting question. And this is one of those things where I wish that the Miga site were like, instead of almost a year old, that it was almost 2 years old, because then I could compare like a full Christmas holiday season on the Miga site versus, on Ezoic, which is where the site was before, versus a whole holiday season on Mediavine. because I have no way to really compare them. I have no way to go back and say, oh, this is better or worse than it would have been if I had just left it, because I don't know. I don't know how it would have done. So I'm pleased with how it's doing now, and I'm pleased with how things are going with Mediavine so far for this particular site. Um, had some technical issues in the last 2 weeks with the sticky sidebar. They helped me get it set up, and they even went in themselves and worked on it, and then it didn't work. And so then they had to come back to me, and we worked on it some more, and then I think it's working now. But still, there's just little tweaks and things. Haven't even been on the network for a full month yet, so I feel like it's early to honestly say how things are going. But I don't have anything bad to say so far, aside from like the initial setup part, like talking to support. Just that, if I could have done if I could have anything changed in my experience so far, it would have been in the initial like first month of applying and then getting approved and then getting on board. So far, once I've gotten on board, I feel pretty good about it. But I'm not somebody who complains a lot anyway. So yeah, yeah. John says 5 likes. No, ooh, we got to 10. That was more than double. Thank you, friends. That was awesome. Richard says no more 11 a.m. Richard, the 11 a.m. 2 weeks ago was a fluke. I don't know, is 11 better for folks? Everybody will have to tell me. The reason that I do 10 a.m. is because it frees up my day to get to my things afterward. But if there was a swelling of support for an hour from now, I would consider it. Right now, though, it fits my life, and it may not fit everybody else. Richard, thank you for telling us a bit about yourself. He says he's from San Diego, SEO manager for an internet marketing firm. I bet you know a lot. I'm certain that you know more than I do, but thank you for dropping in here. My question is, though, if you have this knowledge, then how can we as a community serve you? I see that you're building sites on your own in your free time, haven't had the nerve to quit your job yet. How can we support you? Is your goal then to soon quit your job? And what are you going to need to be able to do that? I would like to know. There's Sarah. What's going on, Sarah? I know you are busy. I'm feeling it too right now with school and all the rest. But how's it going? Soren tuning in from Denmark. I have to tell you, Soren, that I want to visit Denmark really badly. That part of the world I think is fascinating, and I cannot wait to go there. Margaret says, I'm curious about you sending articles back. Will you keep these particular writers, or how many strikes before they're out? With writer access, they get 3 strikes, like complaints. So if you block them from accessing, like if you are serving in writer access, you have the option to serving your projects or your articles that you want written to a team of writers, like your love list, or the writers that you have favorited, versus sending it out to the crowd. And it's a little bit cheaper to send it out to the crowd. You get a small discount. And so what I often do is I send it to the crowd, and then I shuffle through the writers that I like and don't like. And then the ones I don't like, I just block them. And that's not a strike for them within the platform. To get them a strike, they have 3 strikes on the platform, and you can contact support and let support know that they've done something maybe they shouldn't have, but they have 3 opportunities before they get booted off the platform. For me, if I get one article back that is abysmal, I just block them. I just don't want, I mean, it's got to be bad, right? If I feel like with a reasonable amount of work, I can get it up to snuff and post it, I will. Because at that rate, 2 cents a word, my expectations have to be reasonable for that. But if it's bad, like the one I sent back recently, I had scanned it over and I thought it looks pretty decent. It looks good enough. They had previously sent me work that was good, so I approved it. And then once I was editing it for posting it, I realized that it was very bad, and I was mad at myself because I want to say lazy. I didn't read the article more carefully, and it wasn't the writing that was bad. It was the research that was bad, because oftentimes I'll go and like Google things myself just to make sure that what they're saying is correct. And it was not correct. And I felt really foolish. And then I was like, maybe it's spun content. Maybe this is Jarvis, them using Jarvis, but I just decided not to work with that person anymore. And I just put that person on my blacklist. And then That's how it is. So yeah, I think you can be blocked any number of times before you won't get kicked off the platform. It'll just be harder for you to get work. I don't know. I don't know if they can actually see when they've been blocked by publishers. I suspect not, but maybe. Keith says abysmal Amazon associate earnings today for me, probably related to the outage yesterday. So I heard there was an outage on, what was it, the AWS on one of the plugins or one of the connectors that connects up like the links to the Amazon platform. I haven't looked at it because I don't focus that much on it. I put so in my quest to get the best possible month in December, I did add more Amazon links to the Mega site in the last couple of days, but I still don't go look at it and check because it's such a small fraction of what that site is doing. Bloom later. Thank you for telling us more about yourself. He says, I'm actually working on a multi-niched site started in September, so it's still a baby. I'm hoping to have 200 articles on it by March, average word count, 1,700 words, give or take. So I'm curious about the performance of a multi-niched site because we've seen a couple people recently who have tried to launch very broad sites and discovered that it just takes longer for these sites to take off. So I really want to know how this goes and whether or not you're seeing traction yet, if you're seeing any sort of life from Google, because the question of how related topics need to be and how deep do you need to go is something that I'm really paying close attention to. So please come back and update us as this site is doing its thing. I'm scrolling. Bloom later says, I fear that my site will end up like your site, the one that failed, the one that made, I should have read that comment before I went on and finished that. I think what you could do now, if you have this concern that the site is too broad, is abandon plans for the broadness and then just pick one of the niches in the multi-niche and then just dive headlong in it. Maybe you have other content on the site already that's on other stuff, but for now, just pick one of the things and then go as deep as possible into it, because that failed site, what ended up happening is Google didn't know what it was about, but it ended up choosing the one area, the one topic that I had written more articles about and interlinked to each other. And those articles are like 90% of the traffic that the site gets now, which unfortunately means that the RPM on that cluster is really low. But I really do think it's just that I didn't go deep enough into the other topics. So if you've got a bunch of niches on there, like look at the one that is maybe the most valuable or the one that you've already started to delve into, and then just go super deep on that one. And then maybe it won't matter that you do other things, or maybe you'll be able to rank for lots of these niches. But just because you've started a broad site doesn't mean that you have to just continue with that plan. If I were to go back and work on that site that is struggling to this day, I think it made $60 last month with 300 articles. Like, it's so bad. If I were to go back and work on it now, I would just pick maybe one niche that had one topic that had 2 or 3 articles on it already, and then just go as deep as possible on that topic to try to resurrect it. In fact, I probably should do that because I still have that domain. Oh man, Jay-Z says, I would say do whatever time suits you. That's the best I could do. Sonia says, I hit 10,000 page views last month. I'm hoping to get to Mediavine next year by this time. That's a great goal, in my opinion. I think if you're already at 10,000 and it's a site that already has some age, then it just needs content, like a lot of content. I bet you could get there. There's D. What's going on, D? I had a D last month won the guessing game. The how much traffic does the Mega site have and revenue? She was the closest, and I had a lovely, lovely chat with D. And I just really think, D, that chat highlights how important it is to talk to other people in our community and these accountability groups that people are popping into. It just thinks it makes a world of difference. And I mean, we talked about that with Carl last week too, about affiliate gathering. Like, why would people pay money to go to affiliate gathering when they could just come here? And there's it's different talking one-on-one with people about about this, even if it's on Zoom, but also in person. So anyway, that was really fun, and we should do it again. Bloom later is telling me why it is that he or she, because I do not know, is because I'm relatable. Yes, I try very hard to be, and I can't help it. And I don't seem like a selfish a-hole. Well, I do try to sell you stuff every now and again. So if that makes me a selfish a-hole, just be prepared. I help with launches sometime. Like last year we had I want to say a little party when Morton launched the Passive Income Geek course, and that was really fun. And I did, put an affiliate link out there and offered a bonus. So sometimes I may sell you things, but I don't do it all the time. Keith says that Denmark is on his list. Legoland. There's a Legoland, and see, I need to go to Denmark. Eric says, that's fun. Last week, Amelia was live on Spencer's channel, and now Carl is live on the same channel. So how am I doing right now? Because there are 21 people on the stream. And last week, I think I was going head to head with myself on Spencer's channel. I think that we had many more people on my stream than we did watching the premiere of me on Spencer's channel. But Carl is over there now, and his audience is very devoted to him. And so how am I doing? Is anybody looking at it? Is Carl like a video that's not even live, that's premiering right now? Is Carl beating us on a pre-recorded video? If you are Carl, and you are Carl, if you are beating me, Carl, well done. And also, what is for tea? I cannot go throughout my day without knowing the answer to this question. Who I've been watching the number of people on the stream, and as soon as I told people that Carl's interview on the Spencer's podcast is live right now, I just watched the number go. It's like people are like, "Oh, I should go watch that." Like, I'll catch this later. I would much rather go watch that pre-recorded video. Oh my goodness. Yes, go watch Carl's video. And if you did watch the pre-recorded video that I did for Spencer's podcast, please let me know what you thought. Any sort of feedback as far as things I could do better, things that maybe you didn't think were quite right. I'm working on having a better presence in these interviews, because I don't always I think project a lot of confidence, and maybe it's confidence I don't feel, or maybe because I'm nervous being on these. So again, all of your feedback, positive or constructive, like pleasantly constructive, is helpful, and I appreciate it. Soren says, I'll be welcome in Denmark. Yes, please. I will need folks to show me around. Absolutely. Yes, when I do get there, I'm going to bring my kids when I do come to Denmark. So when I do, I will have, it's just like I go anywhere. I don't know how to get anywhere. And I'll be leaning so heavily on my international community that I have met just through blogging and YouTubing, that it'll be a good experience. Sarah says it's going great. I'm focused on getting site 1 to 100 posts before Christmas. I have about 15 more to go. You're right. It's crazy busy with kids, parent, and the holidays. Yeah, it's bonkers right now. But it's still going to happen. Still going to happen. I did want to say that, by the way, for folks that are here, that we are planning on launching a new content challenge for 2022. So over on the screen over here, I have the MEGA content spreadsheet, and it was this 3-month project that I figured, we'll just track it for a couple months and then let it be. And it has turned into 12 months of people participating for accountability. And, I think we started off with an absurd number of people. Like there were so many people. It was like, 20, 30 people. And then through the end of the year, I think we have closer to maybe 10 people who consistently participated. But those 10 people have been with me for the last 3 or 4 months consistently, and it has been really amazing. So I want to thank you for doing this with me, but also to let folks know who were like, I don't like jumping in the middle of things, or I don't know, if I'd be welcome. Like, we're starting over in January. So either a new site, or you want to just start a new content push, or you have a site that you haven't doubled down on, or you're ready to do some work, you want to do some work around other people, keep an eye out for the 2022 spreadsheet. You're welcome to start a new site with me. I tentatively have been talking about doing an aged domain, but it could be a fresh domain. I don't know. I'm just going to start something in January with the goal of growing it as far as I can in 12 months. And anybody who wants to do that with me is welcome. And if that's something you want to do, just, first of all, let me know in the chat you're like, I'm in, so I can kind of get an idea of who and how many and how much of in a hurry I need to be to get the spreadsheet ready and into the description of these videos. And also, I just want to know who's going with me. Like, who's with me? I think we're going to call it Project Icarus. I just like the Icarus name because it makes me think of so much of like flying close to the sun and then Google melting us. Yes, Project Icarus. So yes, who is with me for Project Icarus? Let me know in the chat, and then I want to start talking to people about what it is that they want to do. Like, what do we want to accomplish in 2022? Has anybody been writing out their 2022 plan? Right? Because I don't think that you can just go and say, oh, in January, I'll just do this, and then February will take care of itself. That has never worked for me, like ever. So that is something that I'll be doing in the next couple of weeks and talking about on the stream. Getting ready to launch a new site, a new project, whatever it is, and then also managing the fight site and the Mega site, and then completely neglecting everything else. Everything else. That is my plan, is neglect plus focus on smaller things. Jay-Z says lazy is my middle name. D says, I spent 16 hours delayed at Copenhagen. Does that count? Jasper, what is going on? Jasper, I feel like we haven't talked with you in a long time. Guys, if you are here and you don't know Jasper, he has a YouTube channel where he does just the same stuff that we're doing. And I really, I think he's a really valuable member of our community as far as making videos. And he's had some challenges in the last year, but I really love his enthusiasm and his persistence, which I think is really important. So if you haven't checked out Jasper's YouTube channel, you don't know who I'm talking about, he's there in the chat and you can find him on YouTube and it's there. Richard says that he used to use iWriter for articles a while back and when I needed something quick and cheap. However, you have to be very specific, sometimes with outlines, with the content you get, or that will be crazy. It will, I see, it can get crazy. And the answer is yes. And that is the truth on Writer Access as well. I just have to have a really extensive template. I use the same template for a lot of my articles, but in it I also have a lot of like, do not do this, and then just having like this list of things that's just, please don't do this, please don't do this, please don't do this, because if you don't tell them specifically not to do it, they'll think it's okay to do. So there is Sabina. What's going on, Sabina? We have not actually gotten to catch you on the live for a while because usually you are working. So it's great to see you here and live in the chat. And you have to tell us, how's it going? I did see recently there were 2 YouTube videos you posted, just updates, and I have them in my watch list, like my to watch soon list. But you can just tell us how things are going, because I just wouldn't mind knowing. The chat just scrolled up on me, and so now I realize how far back that I am, and I'm having to go back and catch up. So if you are in the chat now and I haven't said hi to you, it's because I'm like 20 minutes behind in the chat. It's like whenever Sabina came in, it's like forever ago. Richard says, all the larger companies use AWS, so when Amazon has an outage, everything goes down. Isn't that the opposite of what the internet is supposed to be? Theoretically, yes, but that's not what happens. If I had, what's going on? I feel like we haven't seen you hardly at all. So what's going on with you, man? Like how is YouTube and all of the things? Like, what's going on? Sonia says, what do you mean by a failed site? What does it mean to have a failed blog? That is a great question. Failed blog is something that I call it a fail, even though other people might consider it a win. It was a fail because I created a site in 2019. Was it 2019? And I poured my heart and soul into it. And I thought that it was going to be the winner, that it was going to take off and I was going to make my first $1 million. And then it got slaughtered by the May the 4th update in 2020. And I was depressed after that for a long time. I put over 300 articles on it. And it makes between $60 and $100 in a good month. And so for me, I feel like it's a fail because it didn't achieve my goals. Was it a valuable part of my journey and my learning? Of course. So I can't say, it's all negative, but I don't consider that a win at all. So that's my failed site. And the playlist, I'm pretty sure is still on my YouTube channel in there. I haven't withdrawn it yet. So it's still in there if you want to look for it. Let's see. Jay-Z says, find the best performing pages and go for the niche that performs the best. Ooh, so that's some advice for Bloom Leader. Let's see. Dee says the chat was great. Have so much focus since. I'm like, yes, doing my job. Everybody guess for next month? So far, we have not had the guessing game yet for traffic and revenue for the Mega site. So if folks would like to guess, for folks who would like the opportunity to chat with me for an hour in the month of December or early January, I will open it up. I was kind of on the fence about it because I'm busy, but I will open it up right now for guesses for page views and revenue. And the person who comes the closest will have the opportunity to have a free Zoom chat with me for an hour. And we can talk about the weather. We can talk about websites. I can do a site review if you want. And or just shoot the breeze, and it's fun. And I will tell you how October did so that you have some reference point. And if you're catching this on the replay, put it in the comments below if you would like a chance to enter into this. Last month, Adrian was extremely close, like almost beat out Dee. So we'll see if he will get it this month. I think I gave people more clues last month, so they had an idea that things were maybe not as good as I wanted them to be, that things had not grown quite as much, but I'm not going to give any clues this month. So things could be down, they could be stable, or they could be up. Let's see what happens. So here's October. In October, the Mega site had 68,974 page views. All right, so keep that in mind, almost 69,000. And then earnings, the site had $946. So remember, October was 68,900 page views and 946 total earnings dollars. So to enter into this competition for the month of November, you have to guess as close as you can to page views and close as you can to total earnings for the month of November. And I will not tell you if the site is up or down or stable and same. If you have been watching the live streams in the last month, you might have some idea where things are. But if you're first in, it's going to be hard. Not going to lie. So I feel good about for the folks that are here a lot, that they have the advantage of having been here and heard sort of the updates as I've gone along. So I give you like an extra boost. Sabina says, I forgot to put my total income in there. That happens. Zach says, selling something equals selfish a-hole. The difference is whether the sale or the customer is the priority. Well, here's the thing, like selling, like everybody's got to eat, right? I mean, is it selfish to want to earn money to support your family? Like, I'm going to say no. Now, if you're trying to take advantage of somebody and you're trying to hurt someone with your selling, then yes, selfish a-hole. But I won't just jump out and say that all attempts to sell, and I don't think that you said that either, Zach, but I just think that selling is part of the game. It's part of what we do. Dee says she slept on the floor. It was very clean. Richard says you started with more visitors than Spencer's channel. Aha. All right. So are we still beating Carl? I don't know if his interview is still streaming. Richard says that he switched over from Spencer's when I saw you. Like, yes. Thank you, Richard. We'll call it, I don't want to say loyalty, but I mean, the upside is that you can always catch the rest of Carl's interview, later. Soren says that the original Legoland was in Denmark and opened in the 60s. Yeah, my kids are bonkers for Legos, so I have a feeling we may be going there. Eric says, to answer your question, on the other page, I saw 14 viewers and I updated the page and now see 74. Sabina says, I think a failed site is one that does not get traffic. I know some people look at traffic per post, like 500 page views per post, as a measure of success. Yeah, I mean, you could define it so many ways. For me, a failed site is one that does not meet my goals of like world domination. So for me, that I call it a failed site. But I don't think though that it's something I should feel bad about, or that anybody should feel bad about if they have a failed site in their portfolio. Every failed site is a learning step. I think you only fail if you quit. You said I'm not going to try anymore. That's the only time I feel like people um officially fail. You know, it's one thing to say, okay, I'm not going to work on that side anymore. I'm going to try something else. And I'm going to keep trying, but just like I'm done. Like that's how I feel about it. Stig says, didn't we agree to 11 a.m. Pacific? No, we didn't. Let's see, Johnny9, what's going on? I think we haven't seen you in a while, friend. How's it going if you're still here in the chat? And I thought we saw Josh, who said that he was lurking as well. Josh, good to see you, or hear you, or see you in the chat. What's going on? Jasper says, failed to me is little to no traffic after a bunch of months with a good chunk of articles. Sabina says, I think you project confidence. I think you present a really calm confidence, like you know you are awesome. Well, that is a work in progress. I do not actually know that, but thank you for telling me. You can feel free to continue to tell me that, and I mean I will continue to absorb that. Just keep saying it. It's fine. Stig says, I didn't finish Anthony's video yet. Spencer is on too. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff going on right now. I have not watched Tortoise Cashflow's latest videos yet either, but I'm going to. I like to watch his videos, and and everybody who's in our community who is making income report videos, I watch them because I like them. Dee says, love that you're going into more of the detail and tech side and moving away from I'm new and working this out. Yeah, you know, I didn't feel comfortable originally talking about the tech because one, I didn't really know it, and that's still a work in progress, right? And I think that when I did talk about tech, I wasn't always right. And so definitely had gotten away from making videos about the tech side of things because I don't think that what I was making was always that helpful. I do try to only talk about stuff though that I know about. So I don't make videos necessarily reviewing plugins or things that I don't know about, or technical things that I don't know about, even though those types of videos could get a lot of views. I think that there are great YouTube channels that are devoted to that, where you just learn something and then make a video on it. I just don't have any way to know whether the stuff that I teach is right. And frankly, I'm just having more fun making websites and spending less time trying to build a YouTube channel about teaching blogging. I'm going to leave that to the experts. There's a lot of people in our community who are really good at that. I'm going to leave it to them. Eric says, I was not there in the beginning of the year and joined in July. Happened. Yes. Well, we are so glad that you were here. Happy to have found you. I'm happy you found us. Motivation and learning. Yes. Oh, yep. So people, I'm like to the part in the chat now where I was talking about Project Icarus. So I can see I'm only 10 minutes behind now on the chat. I'm catching up. I'm going to get there. Let's see. Stig says, I still need a date for the affiliate meetup. Are you asking me to go as your date to the affiliate meetup? Your guy who can't even get to the stream on time. Sabina says that she will be very happy to be into the new challenge, which is awesome. So Sabina's in for Project Icarus, which is awesome. Eric is in for Project Icarus, and so is Dee. Jasper says he's not starting a new site, but has content pushes planned. Well, the Project Icarus will be also a content push. This, you can say it. It's just like my Project Icarus content push. We'll just know it'll be like a super secret like cabal of people who you're only in the know. So you'll be talking about it in your YouTube videos. You're like, okay, and for Project Icarus, here's where I'm at. And then most people will be really confused because they're not subscribed to this channel and they have no idea. But the affiliate marketers, like the marketers, would say that that's like a tactic, right? Is, you know, to have like something that nobody else knows. Anyway, we're doing it. We're just checking the boxes on building a community without trying to sell you anything. Sabina says, I would be happy to be a spreadsheet upkeep helper. You do that excellently. I mean, you have made the tabs ahead of me because I do not get to it on time, so I have appreciated your help. And so I will start, Sabina, I will start the Project Icarus content Google Sheet spreadsheet. And then after that, you will have freedom and ability to go ahead and then fill in the months in the future. Project Little Ducks. Project 2 Little Ducks. Zach says, like the accountability spreadsheet, I'm not starting a new one for it. I'll add wax wings to my most recent site. I'd say this whole Project Icarus thing, it just like new jokes and things. It's awesome. Sarah says, it takes so long for posts to get traction. When do you go back and update to improve rank or call the post a failure? I'm thinking I won't update any posts until they're around 2 years old. That's a great question. And some posts you would call a fail because they don't get traffic, but it may be that those posts that don't get a lot of traffic are necessary to be a launch pad for the posts that do get traffic. So you think, how deep do you need to go on a particular topic for Google to say, okay, I'm going to feed traffic now to that particular post, or I'm going to rank that on page 1 or in the top 3 or give it the snippet? We don't know. But I suspect that those posts that are linked to the post that gets traffic are valuable. And that if you decided to, maybe take it down or delete it or change the focus of it, that might hurt the performance of this other post that is linked to it or is in the same topic of it. So for me, if a post isn't doing well, I don't necessarily have a huge amount of motivation to go back and try to fix it because it might not ever get traffic. And I would much rather just focus on writing new content. I have to say, after 2 years, that might be a good time to go back and update it. But I don't necessarily think that just deleting content that doesn't perform is just an all-out, get-out like solution to anything, because I just don't know necessarily how important it is to have those connector posts, even if they don't get traffic. Icarus Project, Seth Godin's latest book title. Did he write a book called Project Icarus? Maybe we'll get some trending traffic, people finding their way over here on accident. Adrian says he's in for Icarus, which is awesome. Sarni's in. Currently working on a 2022 plan. Yes, well, everybody should be. I should be working harder on it. Eric says 2022 is not completely planned. Well, you've still got time. There's like 3 and some weeks left in the month. We get it done. JC says, oh, I know about the look. I'm super behind on the chat. It says, you really, Stiggs, I know. I am super behind on chat. I'm catching up though, maybe. Sarah says she's working on her plan. Oh, there, I did see a message from Coop and he says he's lurking. Lady D says the spreadsheet is helpful. Yes, people saying hi to Josh, which is awesome. He's always very quiet. Yes, but we do appreciate you when you say hi. It makes me feel good to know that you're here. I'm just saying. Yes. Josh says, should watch my video for Amazon URLs. Okay, I will. Thank you. Your videos, like your tutorial videos, are really good. So feel free to, I was going to say drop the link in the chat. It probably won't let you drop the link in the chat, but go to Josh's YouTube channel. It's White Hat. Did I get that right? White Hat Blogging. I thought it was White Hat Blogging. Remind me if I'm not right. If I got it wrong, I'm sorry. Eric says, an important quote from Jim Collins is, the path to greatness, the real path to greatness, requires clarity. It demands to focus on what is vital and to eliminate all the extraneous distractions. First of all, I was proud of myself for pronouncing extraneous correctly, I think, in my American accent. But I got to that word and I was like, oh God, am I going to say this right or not? That's a good quote. Sabina says things are going very boringly, just normal growth, I think. Watch my video on site 2. That will come up tomorrow. I feel really good about that one. So blogging after you start the site is truly just who can grind it out the longest, who can be the most consistent the longest, like who can do the boring stuff the longest. And if you're into the boring time, that means that you're on the path to where you need to go. You just got to grind out past the boring parts. That's all. Oh, D throwing in. Thank you, D. I'm so glad you are a mod in this, so you can put Jasper's channel link there. And if you haven't seen Jasper's channel, it's there. And hopefully, D will put the link to Josh's Amazon URL video in the chat somewhere. Help me out here, please. Stig says there's a topic for your affiliate meetup speech, failed blogs. Well, I don't think there's enough time. I could probably take the whole affiliate meetup to talk about all my failed blogs and why. That seems like such a gargantuan topic of all of my my internet fails. But yeah, no, that could actually be a great topic. Thank you for suggesting it. Steven, what's going on? It's good to see you. I feel like the Alex's crew that is missing him are popping in over here just to get some sort of live stream community fix. And if you are here because you're missing Alex, welcome. He'll be back soon. Don't worry. Helen, how are you? Thanks for coming on. Richard says, I've built an interesting niche building blueprint for 2022. It's designed for a diversity of assets. I can share it for anyone if they're interested. Folks, Richard has a plan. I used to have a more extensive plan. And what I found is that my extensive plan meant that I was not focused enough. So my 2022 plan will not be extensive. It will be very defined. I'm going to take the Mega site to 1,000 posts as quickly as possible. I'm going to stay on track with the fight site for the 15 articles a month for all of 2022. And then I'm going to build a new site to 500 articles a month. And that's literally it. Like these 3 things. And that's it. I will make YouTube videos, but still getting those sites to those goals. That's pretty much what I'm doing. Ooh, people are getting into the guesses. So Jay-Z said 65,000 page views and $900. I would be pretty thrilled and feel pretty good if that were the case. Oh, D says, be warned, anybody doing Zoom, when Amelia gives you the look, you know you're in trouble and you need to get, did I give you the look? Like, really? I don't remember giving you the look, but apparently you remember the look. Jay-Z knows about the look. Stig says 80,000 page views and $1.2 bills, $1.2 thousand dollar bills. I will be very happy if the site was at 80,000 page views by the end of month 11 and making 1.2K dollar bills. Sonia says 70,000 page views and $1,000. Zach says, sorry, tech wording. I meant selling something is not. Okay, then we are in agreement. Jasper says, maybe a bit off topic. What are the thoughts here on the popcorn theme? I can only tell you my personal experience. I personally am using popcorn on the fight site, and I like it. I have Generate Press on a handful of other sites, and I've also used Astra and WordX, and I like it. And I think the site that I'm starting in January, I'm planning on putting popcorn on it. And it's not that it's like crazy different from any other theme out there. I mean, it just, for me, it was really easy to get the homepage set up, where you have like the blocks and that part of it, they sold it as something that was pretty easy to plug and play, and you didn't have to do a lot of work to make it look like you'd want it to. For me, that's why I'm going to start my next site, whichever site, it's either an H site or a fresh domain in January. I'm going to use popcorn. I mean, I have Generate Press. I know how to use it really well, but I hate having to design the homepage. And so it's like two themes that I like equally well. And I know that the developers of Popcorn versus the folks over at Generate Press, and I like that they're pushing out updates to Popcorn all the time. So that's my personal opinion on it. There is an affiliate link in the description of this video, but they did not pay me to say that. Use whatever you want. I don't care. Richard says Legoland in San Diego is very nice. I did not know that San Diego had a Legoland. Wow. Josh says Popcorn is solid, fast theme, similar to Akabata, but without the same issues Akabata has with hard-coded deletion of things like jQuery. So coming from Josh, that is excellent, like an excellent sort of technical summary that whatever he said, that. Dee says she uses popcorn and loves popcorn for the ease of setup. There are not all the options that you have with Astra, but it's not as pretty as you can make other sites. Yes, well, my sites are not pretty at all. So popcorn is an improvement for me. Eric says, let's guess 72,400 page views and $1,030 US revenue. Very good guess. Is he getting close? I'm not going to say. Jasper says he's thinking about moving over from Acrobato. Not the biggest fan of how that works. Yeah, I haven't used Acrobato at all. So just keep that in mind when you hear my comments about how I feel about popcorn. I have not used Cadence. I know other fans in this who come to this live stream really like Cadence. I have not used it, and I have not used Acrobato. Sabina likes it, but she is a bit bothered by the unprettiness. For me, like my sites, it's 90% mobile traffic. So the prettiness for me just sort of like, because nobody's hardly seeing the desktop version, which is the pretty one. Keith says, speaking of videos, I'm long overdue, but finally have some in the pipeline now. Well done, friend. I cannot wait to see them. I cannot wait to hear how things are going. Stick says, you can be my backup if Sue stands me up. Well, I think Sue is lovely. So I hope that if Sue agrees to be your date to Affiliate Gathering, that works out. I'm sure you would enjoy yourself. Josh says, I can't start new, but the jet fuel is already being used to build up. Yeah, I know that you're on track. Dee says she needs to get out more. Yes, all of us can probably agree to that. Richard says, on my end, most posts usually hit their maturity for ranking between 3 and 6 months. At that time, I decide whether or not to improve or leave that post alone. Yeah, I mean, the reason I was laughing is because underneath that, I saw Josh write, I'm the most useless moron on YouTube. So I wasn't laughing at Richard. I was laughing at Josh. Yeah, so that could be good advice too on when to update or when to decide that a post is doing well or not. For me, I probably wait longer. I usually would wait 12 months or more just because you can't ever really tell with indexing right now what's happening. But Josh confirmed that White Hat Blogging was the channel, and I did get that right. Go me. I remembered something, my aging brain. Graham, what's going on? You had a birthday recently, friend. And I think Facebook told me that. And either Facebook was wrong or it is your birthday yesterday, day before. But happy birthday. I feel better for having gotten to know you this year. And so I can offer you happy birthday felicitations. Dee says, question all. For those of you that outsource and don't have a VA, how long on average does it take you to edit a post, add images, links, etc.? I know this can vary deciding how much you can do. For me, I spend like an hour or two writing the SOP or the recommendations or the description or the requirements for a blog post. And when I do that, the post comes back usually pretty close to being able to post it. So for me, I probably spend between 15 and 20 minutes doing the writing, editing, and posting, but sometimes less. And ideally, I would like it to be as little as possible. Sometimes it only takes 5 to 10 minutes, but for me, it's an average 15 to 20 minutes. ND got his YouTube channel. Awesome. Sarah says, I'm thinking to only update those post ranking in positions 4 to 10 if I think I can't move them up to the top 3 spots. Anything else is just let it be. So I will admit to going back and just looking at my sitemap and then looking at the post that was like last modified, but the opposite. So the one that was the last in time to be updated, and then I just go to those and update them. Just like I'll spend an hour one day, once a week, pull a post that hasn't been updated since the longest, and then do some updating to it, because there probably is some degree of freshness with Google as far as posts and having posts sitting out there forever without any updates or changes. But I can't speak to, I'm not an authority on that. I just do try to go back and update the old stuff over time. Even small updates like, changing out the image or just reading it and just checking to see if there are any other headers or things that I can do, or bringing the post into consistency with my current on-page strategies, because those do change over time. And when you have a big old site that has a lot of posts, you just learn so much. And so it can be good to go back and look at what you did before and clean it up. I do notice that our thumbs up count is climbing. This is a reminder, if you are in the chat lurking and you haven't smashed that, like, it makes my heart feel fuzzy. And I think it helps with YouTube, but I don't know. Just do it for me. That's all I'm asking you. Oh, and she got Josh's Amazon playlist. Excellent. Go there. Sabina says, I've started outsourcing and I think it takes 30 to 45 minutes to proofread. Yeah, I think that the goal is to try to get it down over time, to as quickly as possible. And sometimes it means sometimes that you don't make it as pretty or nice as you might have if you had spent that long. But sometimes for me, it's a choice between posting one article and then the other stuff sitting in the queue, or posting a lot of them and them not being as pretty, but getting it done. And I'm a done is better than perfect kind of girl. Richard said it takes him between 30 minutes and 90 minutes to get it done. Keith says he knows the look. Ha ha, very funny. Yes, the look. That could be a t-shirt right there, the look. Stig says, did I check my parcel locker? By the way, I haven't, but I will now. The mailman yelled at me a couple weeks ago because I hadn't checked it in a while. It was full. So I have checked it, not in the last 2 weeks though. So I will go today. I will look. I'm not sure what I'll find in there. I hope it's something interesting. Sabina says, so Amelia, no info products, courses, or anything for any of those sites. I'm wondering if I may need to do some diverse monetization for site 2. I got to get those dollars. So the dollars are where we are obsessed, right? We were obsessed about the dollars early on, but what we really need to do is focus on the traffic, because if you can get the traffic, the dollars, they will come. There's just, when you're like, I know everybody's so motivated, right? They get into this because they want to make money, but until the site has traffic, like the monetization stuff, you can do that over time after you have traffic. But it's like, just keep the money side over here, but just think, okay, am I thinking more about how to get money or how to get traffic? Like, you can add affiliate links to a post that is ranking pretty quickly. Like, okay, I have this post that all of a sudden is a breakout and it's doing great. I mean, you can add some Amazon stuff to it after the fact, but get the audience there. And yes, of course, think about monetization, but if the site is not big yet, again, just traffic. Tom Hodgkinson, how's it going, Tom? Thanks for dropping in. Josh says that he has an aging brain. And Tom, by the way, if you haven't told us a bit about yourself and what you're working on, now is the time. Now is the time to get it out there. Sonia says, how do you guys organize your blog posts? Which one is ranking and which one isn't? So I don't know for sure exactly what you mean by which one is ranking and which one isn't. I need more to that question, unless somebody else is understanding it more than I am. Graham says, yes, it was his birthday. So I think I'm catching up. I think I'm getting caught up here, because I feel like I was just talking about Graham's birthday like a minute ago. Richard says, why are so many people having issues with indexing? That sounds like a great video topic I should cover. About 10 years ago, I made a WP plugin, but maybe it needs to come back out. Yeah, indexing is a pretty major problem for a lot of people. And I don't think necessarily that it is like a technical problem that people just aren't, submitting their sitemaps to Google Search Console, or they're not manual indexing things. Like, I feel like I'm doing a lot of things to try to, that normally in the past would have solved indexing problems that just aren't working right now. But hey, the more that we can share on the topic, the better. So if you want to make an indexing video, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what is working for you. Alexander says, just hit it. What time did you come on? So I haven't moved the stream to 11 a.m. Los Angeles. I'm still on at 10. So some people are popping on now and they're confused because they thought I was on at 11, and that was a one-off. I'm sorry to say, although if there's a groundswell for 11 a.m., then maybe I'll move to 11 a.m. There's a lot of people on right now. All of a sudden, though, like they were expecting me to, having been on 11, so I feel bad. Steven says, hey, Amelia, how are things going with the websites that you had purchased? I think you gave an update about a year ago. I haven't updated them. The Google updates have not been kind to them. And also, I have not been kind to them because I have been distracted and focused on other things. I'm pretty close to breaking even on them, so it will have been 2.5 years. I'm pretty close, but what they really need is for me to go through and actually work on them. And so I don't want to say that the project was, a fail or was a good idea for me. It was something I needed at the time, for learning and stuff, but I have not turned the time and attention and the money to them that they need, that I now recognize that they need. So those projects are floundering, and that is my fault. It is not the fault of the sites or of the seller. I just did not realize at the time how much time and effort that I really needed to put into a website to make it successful. So when I bought a portfolio of a handful of sites, I thought it would be fine, right? You just do a little bit of work to them and let them run, but that is not what makes a site successful. I have subsequently discovered. So they are still earning money and I still have them. And but I'm not really very focused on them because right now I'm having more fun building my own stuff now that I feel more knowledgeable. I won't say I'm an expert by any means, but I feel more knowledgeable than I did when I bought them. Stig say, let's just say I don't think it will bite. Open carefully. All right. So apparently there is going to be something in my mailbox that might not bite. That's quite the recommendation, my dear. Let's see. Sabina says, I know we will run out of time, but I'm worried that traffic is going to be pretty low in my new niche. That's why I'm thinking I will need more than ads. Well, certainly, there's definitely a plan for, I mean, you can make money with a site that doesn't get a lot of traffic. But before you go down the road of thinking, okay, like how do I work on monetization? Like people will put a bunch of time into, like opt-in monster, or like, um, building their email series out and doing all these things, which is great. But if you haven't built out the content on the site yet, if you haven't actually executed the plans that you set up when you started the site, then I would just ask you to stick with the plan, like stay the course for a while before you decide that, okay, the site is not going to take off. Because truly, if we're talking about the site that I think we're talking about, what I have been hearing is anxiety and doubt. Anxiety and doubt. And so you have to push down the anxiety and doubt, put it aside, and just execute the plan first. And then let's talk monetization. But if you have not flushed out and completely done the blog posts that you plan to do, and you're thinking it's time to shift gears and focus on monetization because the site is brand new and traffic isn't coming in, and you're doubting whether the size of your audience, I just would tell you to just stay the course. Stick with the plan. What does the look like? Is this the look? Like, stick with the plan. Don't get distracted by doubt, fear. Stick with the plan. Josh says, talking to Richard, Google is purposely slowing indexing down because everybody thinks their content is the best, but Google isn't just ranking for more words anymore. What he said. Sonia says, I mean, how do you keep track of all your articles and content clusters, and how do you know which one is ranking and which one to revise after a few months to work on? For me, I can generally see in Google Analytics which clusters are doing the best, because I can see, because I scroll through when I'm actually looking at the content, when I'm actually looking at numbers, once every couple of days, I just do like a last 7 days report, and then just look at which content, which type of keyword is in the top 10 and how that is working out. So I just check those and see what is doing well. And then I scroll through down to the bottom. I mean, like the Miga site, I built most of it this year, all of it this year. So I'm really familiar with it. Other folks who have older sites who are looking at clusters may have better advice for you. I just look carefully. I guess I just know still. I just remember what I worked on, and I am in the back end of WordPress so often that I know what's there. So I don't think that's a very helpful answer. Richard says that Sabina should post more content. I concur. Santok says, do we need to add every keyword in Soap Robot? Because I've done 100+ articles. It's difficult. I do. And I did have to go do that when I added SERP robot. I did have to go through and spend however long like adding the keywords to it. And for me, I just did it because I wanted to know, but um, you don't have to do it. I just like it. Soren says that he's got an indexing video coming up. Good. Let me know what it is. I will watch it. Stig says, no problem. Just do a 2-hour show today. I keep thinking I'm going to get to the bottom of the comments, and then I'll log off when I get to the bottom of the comments. But we'll see. We'll see how long I go. So I do have something I have to get to coming up here shortly, but I do want to try to get to the bottom of the comments. Tom says that he's thinking about starting a blog in January. Heard what you just said about monetization, but that is part has me worried. I think my topic is good, and I'm thinking I can get traffic. Yes. Well, we are starting Project Icarus in January for folks who want to build a site with other people, surrounded by the love of support of people who are going through the same suffering. The same suffering. Everybody in month 3 going, where is my traffic? Why won't it index? We can go through that all together. Richard says, I'm still able to get pages indexed and crawled within a couple of days with rankings appearing in 2 to 6 months. I have some posts that were posted months ago that are still, Google says, crawled but not indexed, discovered but not indexed. And then you go to manually index them, and then it does nothing. I don't know why. Josh says, it's like my Project 24 case study, 50% won't index. Yes. Yes, and it's shocking how many people are going through the same thing, the same exact thing, and like forcing, like you can't force it. Like it's just, I just continue to write more content and then hope for the best. And then then just waiting to see what actually changes the game. I think that I'm just going to continue to post on that site, even though it won't index. And then I think I'm going to win eventually. I'm going to be patient as best as I can because it's not my strong suit, and I'm going to just keep doing the work. I think it's going to happen. Sabina says, I'm sticking with the plan. Yes. Just follow the plan. Just stick with the plan. Don't let that, if doubt is driving you to feel like you need to do X, Y, and Z, just take a deep breath, go back to the plan. Stig says, I need Christmas lights behind you, more festive. Yes, I have Christmas lights out there in the rest of my house, but it is bad. It is bad news out there, all the projects that we have going on. So I will just hide out in here for now. But if we do have a Christmas party, I guess I should. We had a Christmas party last year. Maybe we should do one this year. And then I'd actually decorate it for Christmas. Josh says, yep, working on what actually helps to rank instead of guessing. Sharat says, how are the current EPMVs? I see not much change in EPMVs. It's just me. Mine have been bouncing around up and down like ping pong balls. Yesterday I had a really good day, and then the day before was not so good. So I see a lot of bouncing. I think other people are probably doing better than me and some worse. Some people don't notice much of a change in the holidays at all because their content might not be product focused or something that advertisers would want to spend more money on. For me, it's bouncing around all over the place. And that one particular site, the Mega site, just got moved over to Mediavine. So that could also be part of the reason too. Manuel says, do you use Classic Editor on your WordPress blog for your blog? No, I use Gutenberg. I just started using it and I've just gotten used to it. And I can use Classic, but I just started using Gutenberg and now I do it. Let's do it. What are your thoughts on AI writing assistants such as Jarvis and Writer? I don't use them. I think of them as a sophisticated article spinner. People use them, I think, well, if they use it as a way to suggest or to get started writing. But I don't think that any content that you create with with AI is going to be ready to post. I think it has to be reviewed, and I think the research is often suspect. So I think that people who are creating content with Jarvis with the expectation that they can just post it are probably doing themselves a disservice. It has a role. It has its place, and people use it well, and it does a good job for them when they use it as like a starting place. But I just don't think that you can use it and expect it to do your job for you. And I don't think it will take the place of hiring writers to do research for you, in my opinion. I don't use it. I just either outsource the content and then review it to make sure that the research is at least close enough, or I write it myself. Steven says, I've been seeing the same issues with indexing. I did notice that when I published a bunch of content at once, I got more indexing from Google. I still have some not indexed from February 2021. The stuff that I'm publishing now seems to be picking up more quickly than the stuff that I published in October and early November. That stuff is still not sticking. Adrian says, what helps me with faster indexing is this. After I hit publish for a new article, I go through my old posts and interlink them to the new post from there. That's good advice. I also do that. Tom says, will the people from Project Icarus know each other's niches? What people want to share is up to them. I don't think that anybody should share their niche or their URLs and anything if they don't want to. If you want to, you share what you want. Since it's not, like a really organized project, mostly what people will share is their goal for the month and then how they're doing. And the only thing I ask people to do is work consistently and regularly and then come back and update everybody about their progress. Because seeing other people working is what I think helps other people get going. But if you want to share, you can share. And if you don't want to share, then don't share. I haven't decided how much I'm going to share yet, but I won't be sharing my URLs because I never do. Zach says, EPMVs are bouncing if I look at total traffic, but they are much steadier if I look at desktop only or mobile only. Interesting. Steven says, it's a tough time to move from one ad network to another. Have you seen a bump in revenue? Now, I am being a little close-lipped about the revenue for December because I am teasing the month 12 video for the Mega site. I will say that I have noticed a bump for December, attributed probably to the holidays. I honestly can't tell. It was like a terrible time to move because I can't tell honestly right now how much of the bump is attributed to a different ad network versus the holidays. So yeah, it was a tough time. I was really nervous about making a switch, but I only had ads down like fully one day. So I only lost revenue one day in November, which exceeded my expectations because I expected it to be down much longer. D says, I've had no issues with indexing linking from older articles. Okay, good point. Stig says, busy trying to unspin a scraped site I bought on accident. Yes, I remember that. Internal links, yes. More internal links, yes. Diabetic Game Guy. Thanks for dropping in, friend. We're almost done here. Definitely catch the replay. It's great to see you in the chat. Hope things are going well for you. Tom says, I'd like to get an opinion on my niche from someone with some experience. You can always throw it in the chat and people can throw in their 2 cents, or you could pursue like buying an hour of somebody's time. Like there are folks in our community that do consults. It's something that I have debated doing. I just haven't really had the time or really seen there was much of an interest. So if you want to talk to me, the best way to get that time would be to win the monthly traffic and revenue game, because that's usually the only time that I talk to people now. Let's see. Richard says, did you watch Spencer's live stream all the way through? Bottom of the comments. All right, folks, it is a 11:15, and I've had a really enjoyable time speaking with everyone. I just want to remind folks to keep an eye out for the spreadsheet coming out for Project Icarus. I expect to be posting it in the next week or two for folks that want to jump in. I'm excited to start a new project with folks in January. And I really hope that everybody is also putting together their 2022 plans, because that's what I'm working for. And I probably will try to do like a year-end stream where we could talk about our plans for 2022. That might be a good idea. Instead of doing Christmas, maybe doing like a New Year's resolution party. So that could be really fun. But yes, so keep an eye out for those things. I don't think I have other things I want people to look for. Danny says, have you done any backlinking for, I have done no backlinking at all for the Mega site. The results are solely from KW research. Yes, I haven't pursued any backlinking at all. That is not my strength at all. It's something I need to do in 2022, but I don't have a lot of skills there. No Chris today. He must be busy in the niche site cage fight. Yeah, Chris is hopefully working very hard. And Chris, if you catch this on the replay, it's your fault. All of it, whatever it is. Let's see. How do I find your live event next Wednesday? Just the live stream is being hosted on my Amelia Gardner interviews and live stream channel. So basically, you just have to come back to this channel next Wednesday at the same time, and there should be a link to and you'll find us here. See you next week. I have not created the November video report. I want to give people a chance to put in their guesses to try to win the 1-hour consult. Because I have so much fun doing them and they seem to be valuable. Danny, thanks for dropping in. Dee, Zach, Stiggs, John, Adrian, Stephen, Sue, who was here earlier, Sabina, and Josh, and all the friends. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you same time next week. And it should be 10 a.m. Los Angeles for those of you who were hoping it would be 11. For now, we're just going to keep it at 10 so that I can get to life. And yes, we will. Oh, I see Jasper throwing in his final guess. He's like, I can use that hour. He said, I will put my guess in the comments. Hope I won't forget. Yes, do it. All right, folks. Thank you so very much. Take care. We will talk to you next week. Cheers.